Hello YouTube, welcome to the 12th video on the Land Rover Series 3 project. In this video I get most of the way through assembling the transfer box and then come upon a problem. And it might be something that a lot of you have experienced. Right, here we are, cleaned a lot of the parts, still this one to go. And I've been putting things together and looked at these thrust washers. And they look horrendous, there is a huge lip there. So I'm not too impressed. So I was looking at ordering them. They're very expensive, but that's fine. But I lose a few more days, which is kind of annoying. So I've had a little look around, a closer look. You know, the bearings are superb, they're spot on. I've reused them, as is the shaft, absolutely lovely. So we can reuse all that. So then I had a little look, and actually the thrust force from the gear is going to clearly be going through this metal surface, nothing to do with that plastic one. Well, actually the metal surface contacts the outside of the washer, which is in very good condition. Here we go, you can see the outer face is lovely. There's a little bit of wear there, look. But there's no significant loss of material like there is here, so I can reuse these. And indeed I will reuse them. So here we go, I'm going to put them in and check the end float. The book says it needs to be between 0.1 of a millimetre, which is this feeler gauge here, and 0.2 of a millimetre, which is this one here. So I want that one to fit and this one not to fit. So let's try it out. So here we go, it is in, and you can see, if I can do it with one hand, yeah, there we go, look in that, there's the gap there, you can see it closed and open. So that's the end float, so I can measure it now with my feeler gauge. 0.1 of a millimetre, come on, there we go, it goes in there easily, and the 0.2, you can squeeze it, but it's binding up. So that's perfect. So I've found the reason for this this excessive wear on the inside here now, which is not a critical surface, but it's obviously it lines up with that bearing. So the bearing cage, the plastic bearing cage, has been pushing hard against that thrust washer. And the reason for that is, well, the internal end of the cage here fits nicely inside the gear. This end of the cage gets tight there, it stops and it gets very tight. You have to push it in very hard to get it in. So it's no good really for these roller bearings to be working correctly. The roller bearings and the cage need to be going at half the rotational speed of the gear for there to be rolling occurring. So this needs to be free inside here. So what I've done is I've just trimmed the edge of that plastic. So now it's a nice loose fit in there, look. So that means two things: the bearing will work better than it used to, and it won't be rubbing up against this thrust washer hard anymore. So right, so the next lot of bits is this lot. This is the output shaft here, and the what do they call it, the speedo drive housing or something, which goes on the back of there. So this one's quite a biggie. It took a while to clean up. That was a real state. So I'm going to mess around a little bit, because like I took this apart 9 months or a year ago, so I've got to make sure I get the order of assembly correct with this and that, and this which moves this gear up and down, etc. So let's get on to that. Let's just show you what's happening here. Because there's a bearing either side, like there's a taper roller bearing there and a taper roller bearing there, and the shaft kind of sticks out at both ends of it. there's no other way but to put the shaft in and assemble the parts on the shaft as you go. So that's what I'm doing here. So this first big one is the low ratio, and then there we go, that's better. And that's the high ratio, and then it's hard to see, but there's a big thrust washer there, and then the circlip. I've now got to work the circlip down onto there, and then straighten it all up and tap the shaft in this way to push the bearing onto the shaft, and then that's kind of it. And then I've put this, oh yeah, then this this other part of the bearing goes on here, and I need to tap that into the casing, and then the whole thing will be supported. And then this this selector fork, here we go, goes on there, and I can spin that around and take it up into position later on. But that's the that's what I'm doing. I can't really quite film it from this angle, but yeah. That's all in there now. You saw me put the shims on, and the the shims and the speedometer output housing, tighten it down, and I haven't actually changed anything here. Bearings or the shaft or the casing is remaining exactly the same, so the preload should be just right. Next I'm going to put the snout on, I think, so I'm just going to put those studs in, get a gasket on there, check everything's good. Oh yeah, I've got to clean these two dowels up because I scraped them getting them out, so yeah, you can see a burr on there, so I've been filing the burrs off of these ones, so I'll just do those ones as well now, and then hopefully get a snout on, which would be an amazing milestone. Right, this is as far as I've got. Not very much left to do, really. I've already checked that the idler shaft goes in the middle here, okay, and it does. So I just got to keep assembling, but I came upon this problem. This gear here, which is the high range gear, while it rotates freely on, well, the shaft rotates freely, it doesn't rotate freely on the shaft. Right, I'm going to leave it there, folks, because the video is getting quite long, and actually this problem took a little bit of solving. So this is what it should do. You can see here the high range gear is rotating freely on that shaft, but as you can see from the previous clip, it didn't do that. So I solved that in the next video. I think the next video will be the last one on the gearbox and transfer box as an assembly. I hope you're enjoying the series. Please leave comments if you're liking it, or if you think I'm messing something up. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye for now. Christ. Let's pull that. Shit. Look at this funky ratchet.